No one saw it coming, not the loyal viewers, the BBC network, or even those who believed the repair shop was nothing more than a gentle, heartwarming series about restoring treasured items. For years, audiences tuned in for joyful reunions and tearful restorations, never suspecting that behind the warm smiles and quiet workshop atmosphere, something far more unsettling was unfolding. What was breaking this time wasn't a fragile heirloom, but the calm, trusted image that had become the heart of the show. Behind the scenes, tensions had been quietly building, hinting at a deeper rift that few outsiders could have imagined. Then, without warning, the BBC abruptly pulled certain episodes from rotation, Jay Blades seemed to disappear from public view, and whispers began to circulate. It was in the middle of this growing storm that Steve Fletcher stepped forward, making a move no one expected. One that not only confirmed the swirling rumors but also changed the future of the repair shop forever. It's difficult to picture British daytime television without the repair shop. The series didn't burst onto the scene with great fanfare, but it steadily built its place and grew into a worldwide sensation. First airing on BBC Two on March 27, 2017, its simple yet powerful premise brought together a team of expert restorers to breathe new life into damaged or worn objects of deep sentimental value, all at no cost to their owners. Filmed at the Weald and Downland Living Museum in Singleton, West Sussex, the setting adds a sense of authenticity and timeless charm. The program set itself apart with its thoughtful tone, treating each piece with care, respect, and a genuine sense of discovery. By its fourth series, the show transitioned to BBC One, marking its rising success. Since then, it has produced 14 seasons and more than 300 episodes, attracting millions of viewers and inspiring spin-off versions in countries such as Australia, the Netherlands, and Belgium. In 2023, its quiet yet undeniable impact was acknowledged when it won the National Television Award for Best Daytime Show. Much of its appeal comes from the experts themselves, like master clock and watch restorer Steve Fletcher, who has been honing his craft since the age of 16. His composed nature and meticulous skill have earned him a devoted following. While Steve has been a steady presence, the most widely recognized figure remains Jay Blades. Joining early on as a furniture restorer, he soon became the show's primary presenter and emotional anchor. In contrast to Steve's long-established career, Jay's rise to prominence was anything but easy. His route to becoming a respected television personality was marked by financial struggles, academic setbacks, and serious mental health battles that almost ended his journey before it began. Jay Blades is known today as the warm, reassuring presence of the repair shop, but his path to that role was far from smooth. Growing up in 1980s London in a modest household, financial hardship was a constant companion. His family often made do with whatever they had, which unknowingly sparked his passion for restoration. Jay also endured racism and a life-altering revelation about his father, who had 25 other children, a truth that left a lasting emotional scar. School was another challenge. He left with no qualifications, living with undiagnosed dyslexia. It wasn't until the age of 31 that he was formally diagnosed, discovering he had the reading ability of an 11-year-old. Yet Jay refused to stop bettering himself. In 2022, he filmed the poignant documentary Jay Blades, Learning to Read at 51, chronicling his journey to confront a lifelong struggle with literacy. Working closely with tutors, he learned phonics and basic reading skills, embracing his vulnerability on camera. The film revealed the shame and fear he had carried for years, and how he often felt like an imposter. Letter by letter, he rebuilt his confidence, transforming his literacy journey into a symbol of everything he had fought to overcome, from poverty and racism to abandonment and lack of education. But his hardest battle came later. In 2015, his social enterprise Out of the Dark, which trained disadvantaged young people in furniture restoration, collapsed due to severe funding issues. The failure coincided with the breakdown of his marriage, leaving him homeless and living in his car, battling mental health struggles. At his lowest point, ready to give up, the intervention of a close friend, the kindness of the community, and therapy helped him take the first steps toward recovery. In late 2024, a scandal erupted that shook the carefully crafted image of the repair shop to its core. Reports surfaced that Jay Blades had been officially charged with controlling and coercive behavior toward his wife, Lisa Boson, whom he had married in 2022. The allegations covered the period from January to September 2024, a time when the couple still appeared publicly united. The accusations were severe, as controlling and coercive behavior refers to a sustained pattern intended to isolate, intimidate, or dominate a partner. News of the charges sent ripples of shock through the media, clashing sharply with the kind and reassuring persona Jay had long presented. The BBC responded without delay, pulling recent episodes of the repair shop featuring Jay and editing him out of reruns. He stepped away from filming entirely and shut down all of his social media accounts, retreating from the public eye. Reactions were divided. Some fans expressed disbelief, others chose to withhold judgment, and a steadfast group defended him. The silence that followed was layered with tension, as Jay entered a not guilty plea yet refrained from making any public statement, and Lisa Boson also avoided further comment once the case entered the legal system. The series carried on, though with an undeniable change in atmosphere, as other cast members, most notably Steve Fletcher, moved forward to fill Jay's role. Some viewers felt the heart of the program had shifted, while others saw it as proof of the team's resilience and adaptability. Yet amid the media frenzy surrounding Jay, one element stood out to longtime followers. The rest of the cast maintained complete public silence, offering no interviews, statements, defenses, or denials. In the months after Jay Blades' sudden retreat from public life, the repair shop pressed on without its most familiar face. Episodes were trimmed with care, and the cast maintained a careful quiet. Then, a single photo stirred the still waters and unexpectedly placed Steve Fletcher in the center of attention. Shared by Steve himself with the caption, "I popped in to see Jay the other day for a cup of tea and a lovely chat." The image showed the two friends smiling warmly, arms around each other. What might have been an ordinary moment of camaraderie instead became the spark for a public debate. That photo became both a gesture of defiance and a statement of loyalty. Many praised Steve for refusing to abandon a friend when public opinion had turned, while others questioned whether such closeness sent the wrong signal. The BBC remained silent, and Steve carried on with his restoration work on the show, steady and composed. Yet the dynamic had shifted, and he quietly emerged as the face of this new chapter. His choice to stand beside Jay without judgment was a rare stance in an era quick to condemn. For a man known for letting his craftsmanship speak, his silence became its own message. It was a quiet acknowledgement of how loyalty, friendship, and moral complexity intertwine, and a reminder that the most difficult decisions are sometimes the ones we live out without saying a word.